ask, draw this type of architecture with the paper, pencil, whatever way, but this is the architecture. First of all, we will install database. Database name will create a school. We'll create table, MySQL programming language. Then there will be a service class. This is the router class. These are all Node.js, by the way. So we are learning Node.js in a much more detail. These are Node.js, which is kind of much more detailed. So we are using pattern called routing pattern. We are using a pattern. Now you say, what is this pattern means? So there are two words are very confusing. Pattern. Please pay attention. Pattern and framework. Pattern and framework. Most time people ask in interview, especially you are using web service class and many of you are learning Java. You should know about that. So framework, it's kind of structure with some ready-made classes. Structure with ready-made classes. Ready-made classes means you just use it and there is a structure given to you. So example, the house has wall. Yes or no? So when you buy a house, you have wall. And when you buy a house, you have wall. So wall is a frame. And on that frame, you create a window, you create a door, but you are not allowed to break the window, the frame, because you can do any door you want. You can do any window you want, but you are not allowed to break those walls because those are your framework. Makes sense? So in framework, you get a concept and goodies also. Framework, you get a concept and goodies. So example, if you're driving your car on a breeze or a pool, right? There is a framework. Do you agree or not? That left side there is a aisle is there, right side aisle is there, and there are certain way you can drive. And if you don't drive properly, you might fall. Do you agree or not? So everything framework gives you goodies. You have to follow it. So right now, the Node.js is actually giving you a special kind of ability to use framework. So we are using right now framework called routing framework. We have some goodies. And along with that, we use a special web framework called Express Server. That's what we are using, which is called Web Service Framework. We are using it. It does a lot of goodie for us. Now, pattern is nothing but best practice. Pattern is nothing but best practice. So industry, many people are doing coding. And then they say, you know what, this way, if you do coding, it will be wonderful. So we are using pattern called MVC pattern. MVC pattern. What is M stands for? Model. What is V stands for? View. And what is C stands for? Control. So we divide. UI will be totally independent. Controller will be totally independent. And model will be completely independent. Model is nothing but database. Model is nothing but database. View is nothing but UI. And controller is nothing but service, which is in your case API. They all should be independent. So if I'm a graphics designer or web developer, I focus on only view. If I'm a database guy, then I only focus on model. And if I'm a programmer, I only focus on service layer, which is in our case controller. So this way, no one needs to know everything. Make sense? In industry, this is the way it works. Like once you know service, you focus on service development. So that's why sometimes people say I'm a backend developer, or sometimes say I'm a front-end developer. And sometimes we say I'm a full stack developer. Make sense or not? So myself, I'm full stack because I know in and out about all three concepts. So I'm a full stack. Full stack people normally make a lot of money because you know more about it. If you're an Angular developer, when there's somebody say Angular, which is a view perspective. If somebody say React, that's a view perspective. If somebody say I'm a database developer, they're talking about model perspective. And when you say web service developer, you're talking about controller. Make sense? So in this exercise, we are using one pattern, which is called MVC. What we use? And a pattern doesn't give you anything. Pattern gives you concept. That's it. So example, driving car, make sure you wear seatbelt. That's called pattern. When you start your car, make sure you have a seatbelt and see left, right, back, forward, and then you reverse. That's called pattern. You follow, it's a good practice. Pattern is good practice because many people have done it, so you follow the same practice. But framework gives you goodies. So we are using a framework, Node.js framework with the Express server, and we are using routing pattern. routing pattern. So Express server is the most important thing. So we need to install that. Whenever it's a framework, you need to install. Make sense? Whenever it is a pattern, it's just a concept. Pattern doesn't give you anything, but framework you have to install. Make sense or no? Because it gives you goodies. Without goodies, we cannot do the work. So far, any questions? Good. Okay. So if you read this diagram here, you will see here Postman, which is your favorite tool right now, because this tool we use for API testing. We're going to send request and response. Of course, we are going to send through JSON, JavaScript object notation. You guys agree? Now, we are going to expose 4 endpoints today, and one for add, one for delete, one for update, one for get. And there, this logic will be actually divided here. Main logic will be here. These are kind of, delegator. They are delegator. They get it and then they pass to the next level. This guy does heavy lifting. So first of all, he has a database helper class. That database helper class knows how to talk to database. Then he has a config class that helps you for pagination. Now you say, what is pagination means? So if you remember, Google used to, nowadays I think they changed a little bit, but Google, when you search, you used to have to Google, right? Yes or no? A lot of pages were there. So you click one by one and you can move to next page. Because remember or not, by default, Google used to give you 20 news. And the next news, you click on it. That's called pagination. It's another nice pattern in industry. Why you need pagination? So pagination means if you have millions of users, and if you try, your browser will crash. So to solve that performance problem, you're going to give them 10 records. So you are going to say page 1, 20 records. If you need more, page 2, another 20 records. So that will be done by this config. Make sense? So far, so good. Now, these are all part of the framework. So we don't really write. It's kind of what you call boilerplate code. No matter which project you do, Node.js, this will be almost same. Not even single word you will change because these are coming from framework. It's a goodies, right? The third one is a helper. So when you are writing service, which is not Node.js, these are all Node.js. So when Node.js write, please understand, when Node.js write, Node.js wants to talk to database, Node.js cannot talk to database. Node.js cannot talk to database because they are totally different language. MySQL is database and Node.js is JavaScript. So Node.js need a special package to install. So we need to install special package, which is called MySQL package we need to install. When we install, then Node.js knows how to talk to database. So we need to install another package here. We are going to install another package for Express server. So 2 packages. Express, I think you might have installed last week. So we will be installing MySQL package to have enability or talking communication between Node.js and MySQL. And there you need a helper. So what this helper does, you write SQL command and helper will go and execute it and get you the result. Make sense? So helper is also abstract form. Why it is abstract form? If you remove MySQL and if you put Oracle, you don't have to make a single line of change. And if you want to make a change, that change only will be in helper. Service will not be require any change. So helper allow decoupling. Helpers allow decoupling because you are changing only certain portion. So if you're changing certain portion, regression will be significantly lower. Make sense or not? Because if you change service, it's a big thing because a lot of people are using it. So you are not touching the core part, you're touching small piece, which is either configuration or environment. Makes sense? So this is like a nice way you can run your whole application. So helper allows you are writing query, and this helper is going to run the execution. So if you think that query requires some changes, helper will do that part. This one is a configuration. In one page, how many records I want to show. That this is going to do. This one will capture host name, username, password, database name, table name. So if you change host name, then only change required here. And all those things will be used by service. So for service. Now, these are all Node.js, so they use word require. When they say use required, it means this, without this, we cannot work, basically. In easy language, it will include it, right? So I'm going to do step by step so you will understand. But now let's go to the next step, which is this one. Click here and start downloading. So I'm also going to download. So the problem you are experiencing, most likely I will also experience it. So we'll see how it goes. If we all see the problem, then I'll switch the gear and convert into cloud database. But I'm pretty positive it will work. So click here and start. So this is like a community version, which is free. This comes with two flavors. It comes with Workbench and database. So we'll start downloading. Please understand, I'm not going so fast. I'm just trying to explain. I'm also recording the session. Make sure you follow, because after 15-20 minutes, you say, huh, what did you download? There is no way we can go back, right? Because it will be too much to go back. So make sure you download. Download will not take long time. And when you come here, please see here, you don't need to have an account. You just click here and just continue. So it will start downloading. It may take a minute or two to download, right? So my download is done. Give me thumbs up if you are able to download. Ready? Installation. Because I have a problem?
Downloaded and then you downloaded. Perfect.
Yeah. You are with me or no? Let's follow the flow. So you will be with me because that's so good. But otherwise, installation is pretty simple. So let's click on next and next and next and install. Say yes. So first you are installing configuration part. So let's going through that.
Excuse me, Tom, I have a question. So what
Yes.
did you choose, like login or sign up?
No. That's what I'm saying. You see here.
Yeah, okay.
This one. There.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now you're just going to install the configuration part. It's not really installing everything. So let's see how it goes. And it's finished. So it will open the dialog box now. And if you are able to come up to this, you've done a 20% installation. And now you will see something like this. Make sense? But the problem I may have is, what if I don't have MySQL installed? Right? So because we install MySQL Workbench. We have not installed MySQL server database, right? Because we didn't see yet server, right? So please understand, if you come here, let's try this thing. First of all, are you guys all here? All of you are here, right? Everyone, people on phone? Awesome. Awesome. Now, let's try to do connection. So when we try to, don't worry about all those things which I have here or not, because I teach this class, so I might have other. If I click on plus sign, it gives me options to provide the connection information like this, the plus sign. Now, what happens is, if you do not have MySQL install, listen carefully. If you do not have MySQL install, then I will not be able to connect. In that case, we need to download MySQL server also, because Workbench is a graphics and server is a real database. I think I have installed MySQL on this machine, so that's why it came up without any problem. But let's see here. So let's give a name here. Let's say MySQL. Just give a name, MySQL. You don't have to do any change.
Excuse me, what did you click to get this screen pop up?
The plus sign.
Plus sign. Okay.
Now, please understand, give any name of your choice, but I'm just giving MySQL. This is stands for local machine, so we don't need to change. Port, only you need to allow your firewall to allow this port. It will pop up and you just need to say accept, allow it. Username by default is root and password is by default root also. Okay, so if you do test connection after type, it should prompt you password first time. If it is error out, then we need to install database. If it doesn't error out, means you are good to go. So for me, it's prompt to password. I'm going to write root. Please understand, I'm writing root. Root spelling is in front of you. Same spelling will write. First time I will not save it. I want to make sure the connection works, because that way it will help me. Because if I type incorrect password, there is no need to save this, right? So first, let's do OK. And I have an error. Access denied, right? Fail to connect without user root, right? Sorry, question?
I have same issue.
Okay, perfect. So we all
I have
will.
a different, no, I have a different one. It says fail to connect to MySQL at, my API at local.
Yeah. Because this is what error you have, right?
No, it's a different error.
When you say different, could you spell?
Yeah, unable to connect to the local host.
That's the same error, right? Why you say different?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
It's the same error because when we install this thing, we were trying to connect with the cloud in AWS class. That's why it was working fine, because database was in cloud, but local database is not there. So now we will install MySQL local. So fun begins, right? Yes or no? But we have GUI, we have graphic, but we don't have a database. Don't worry, we will be able to fix it. So now we need to download. Let me just do OK. Keep like that. You don't have to worry about. Now let's go to Google. And in Google, just search like this way, MySQL database download, just like that. So let's do that. MySQL database download. MySQL database download. So far so good. Now, please understand. Now, when I'm doing that, I have many options available. So I can go with the community edition. So here you can see MySQL database download. And here you can say MySQL community server. So I'm going to click on this. Let me repeat again. MySQL database download. And there is a community server. So we should click on that. So this will give you this option. I'll put the link in the chat also. Please understand, the server and workbench are different. So right now I have this. Depend on your operating system you can do, but I will like to use always installer because that is easy. Okay. When you click it, it will start downloading. So far so good, right? I'm trying to go easy, drawing it clearly. Make sure you follow and instantly ask question in case if you are having question. So now it will start downloading. Again, same concept. You click on no thanks, just download. Make sense or no? And it will download in a minute or two. It won't take longer because it is just downloading a basic part and then we'll go forward. So right now it's downloaded for me. People on phone, give me thumbs up that you are good so far.
Yes.
Yeah, you are going forward. Follow me right now. Hello. Yeah, you are ahead. You are ahead, right? So let's follow the flow properly. I will also have a similar problem, right? Because if you are in different page, it will be confusing. We are just downloading, right? We are not started installation. So now I'm going to click on installation. Please understand, when we do installations, there are so many hiccups you will have. As I said before, it takes 2 hours to do all those things. So we'll go easily, but that's what you need to learn, right? If it is so easy, then why it's a real life application, right? It's just a dummy application. I could hide this thing and use like cloud database, it could save some time, but then you will lose the fun, right? So let's learn it. So now click on it. So when you click on the first one, it will pop up. And sometimes it might look for the dependency and say you don't have this dependency. But in this case, it is going for next, right? Can I count everyone is having next? Right, Bohena? You are not able to come here? In that case, you may want to follow and go to Google and download Visual Studio 2019. I think that's what they are saying, right? Yeah, you need to think. Based on what you're saying, I had the similar error in my one-off machine. Okay, so good news, you search in Google, you can download that thing. And once you download, you have to start installation of Microsoft MySQL. 2019 is free. It's free to download for that. So the error I might have here, but in my desktop, I had the same error. So I know that how you download it. Those who are having error like 2019, what do you call Visual Studio to download, if you search in Google, you will get a link to download that. It's a free, you can download. Basically, it's a C++ library. It needs that. So right now I'm going to do next. And I accept the license. And I'm going to do next. Now here, we are going to do complete. We're going to do all program features to be in a most disk space. So we'll go with the complete. And install. So that way, the reason we are doing complete, we don't have to take a chance. So just do yes, and it will start installing. Now it says completed server setup wizard. Now wizard will start. So finish. So we are here. Can I count everyone is here? People on phone. So don't go too slow that you will not be able to catch up. Make sure you are here. Give me thumbs up. If you have a question, please ask. So what we just installed is the configuration. Now the dialog box will open where we have to slowly install packages. So right now we're going to say yes. Do you want to allow app to make changes to your device? Of course, I need to say yes. So it will continue and dialog box will open. And you will see dialog box will open. For me, here is the dialog box. It was in bottom side. So I just click on it and I can see that. You see this? I just click on this dialog box. So I'm here. Can I count everyone is having server configuration?
Yes.
Awesome.
My configuration's a little different. I'm on a Mac. It's asking for a password. I tried just root, but it doesn't let me advance unless I put an 8-word password or 8-character password.
Yeah, whatever it is, then you write it down.
Okay, I'll
you
just do
write
root. Okay.
Yeah, just write it down. Anything you do, write down, because I don't know how to retrieve the password later on. So I'll write it down as well. Now, please understand, we might have many errors here. So don't be scared. Okay, we might have many errors here. We need to do back and forth because the most of the error happens because of internet connection. That's what Google is saying. Because if internet connection is not good, you may have error. But if you do back and forth, it does solve. So we'll be able to solve it. Not a problem at all. So we'll do next. Now here, root password. So first thing you write ROOT, root, and say connect and see if you are able to connect. See, right now it is erroring out for me, right? So what is the problem? Something because perform the instance, upgrading existing SQL server, connecting to this. So I have problems. So what is the problem right now? Do you guys have error or only I'm having error?
You know, Tom, I was able to connect without doing the database one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to follow with you.
Sorry, could you repeat again?
I said I was able to connect, like when I
Yeah, then you're good. You don't
so
need
I
to.
have the workbench, it's open.
Yeah. No,
Is this what we are trying to achieve?
Yeah. No. I think you're confused.
Okay.
If you are able to connect with the workbench, I'm assuming you are, then you don't need to do anything. It means you have database installed already.
It's already okay.
Okay. So in that case, you don't have to do anything.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
So here, I have a problem. So right now, connecting to the existing, it says connecting to existing, right? MySQL server install as a root, right? So what is the problem? Something I have wrong, right? So let's see here. What is the problem here? I write R. Let's not write a password. Just do connect, because by default password is empty. Connect, still not working. Now we have to figure it out, that part. So let's do root. No, it's not working. Okay, no problem. We'll configure the server instance as side-by-side installation. The server installation will be configured independently and will be side-by-side and any other. So perform in place upgrade existing server if it is running. So I think mine might be having a server running locally. Give me 1 second. You all have an issue?
I wonder if it's the same as my issue. See if you type root if you get the next button.
Okay.
Like for password, like maybe it wants 8 characters.
Let's try that. Root 2 part n. Is that you say?
So I thought maybe that would enable the next button, but it didn't.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
1 second. Root password. It says here the existing server will be replaced. Upgrade the certain cases. Second. So the existing server installation will be replaced as a part of upgrade process. But it try to connect, but we have not yet installed. We are still in installation part, right? So ideally it should not go. So let's do this one. Because here it says clearly perform an in-place upgrade of existing server, right? It must be running, which in our case it is not running technically, right? So we'll do this one. Click here. Configure this server instance side by side. Make sense or no? Because it must be running. How it is running? We have not even installed it, right? So we're gonna switch this thing. Okay. Now let's follow the next. Now it is asking us question. So TCP is good. Now it's a 3306 good. Pipe name is good. Everything good. So now why it's crying here? The specify port already in use. So seems like someone is using this. So give me 2 seconds. I want to show you who is using this thing. Most likely MySQL only. So the way normally I go is first I'll check services. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking. Then we'll do that. So I'm going to services and see if MySQL is running, because it seems like it is looking that port. So MySQL, do I have MySQL here? Yes, I have MySQL. Do you see that? I have MySQL running. So technically speaking, we do have running. Okay. Why don't you guys check that? Do you have running MySQL? See that. Search MySQL. Sorry, my mistake. Service. Check services. Check services. And see if services perspective MySQL is running on that. Search services. Search services. And then click on services. So let me repeat again. Services. And click on services. Yours is running, right? So I think we may need to know the root default password. Okay, right? Because I think it should be able to connect. If it is running here, then we must be having some password issue. Do you guys see running? Everyone is running? Hello?
No, for me.
Anyone else having issues? You guys able to see running, right? People on phone, anyone else having a issue with running or no?
No, mine is configuration complete.
No. That is fine. After that, you do next.
Yes, I did. Yeah. Every step I did.
And you are able to do, right?
Yes. Yes.
Did you enter password? What was the password you entered?
Root.
And it worked for you?
Yes, it did.
It worked.
I could connect.
Yeah, it worked. Okay, so no,
On a tab on server file permissions, what should I choose? Yes, grant full access. Yes.
yes.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah. So for me, I have a problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop and then start one more time. Just see if that solves my problem. So I restarted the service. Okay. Now I'll go back again one more time. I'll go back and I use the first one and I'll see if I can use root and try to connect. Not root is not there. So you guys use only root, right?
Yes.
So if you are able to do, then don't do that. I'm going to stop for now. This one, stop. I stop the service because it didn't work with the root. Then I'll go through this one. Okay, let me repeat. I'm trying to establish my server. So right now I stop it. So when I stop it, I say I don't have existing server running. So I'm going through this one, right? That time, and I'm do next, this time, see now I don't have the error. Remember I had an error here that is gone. Good so far? Right? People on phone don't miss this type of thing because it takes time, but we will be able to figure it out then. Now let's go to next. Now it's asking root password. So now we'll do a root and we'll say root. So now it says root password do not match. So root, I tried root.
I think it's trying to, ask you to
it
create the new password.
Yeah, it did. Root spelling was incorrect, but root, it did, right? So far so good. Now let's go to next. I think we are good now. Next. I don't need to create database. Next. And wait for a few seconds. And if it all successful, click on execute, click on execute. If it's all successful, then you need to say, ta-da!
The suspense is killing me.
Why?
No, I was just kidding.
No, see, it's perfect. It went successfully, and now next and finish. Congratulations. Can I count everyone is done?
Yes.
You guys are awesome. Makes sense or no? So make sure you see on the screen. So first we're going to create database. Then we'll say this database, I want to use it. Then we're going to create table. Now, this table I just created hypothetically, I found from Google, use it. So this is the table I created. But instead of this, when you do homework, your table will be different. In your homework, your database will be different. Makes sense or no? Now you can't say, I'm lost, I don't understand anything, because you don't want to understand, right? Instead of school, if I want to say movie, how hard it is. Instead of school, this, if you do movie, then here it should be movie. Instead of this, it should be movie. Make sense or no? Let's say, example, if I say product DB, if I say product DB, DB means database, and I say use product DB, then this should be product. Can I have database and table name same? You shouldn't be doing that. You should not have database and table name same. Make sense or no? So in your homework, you have to first change this thing. Then whatever you make, you have to do this, and this is a table name. These are columns. These are columns, and then these are data types. Again, I made it very simple homework for you because I want you to understand the process. So like example, your name, instead of name, example, if I have product name, product price, product and type, product vendor, 4 columns, and that's it. Here, the first column is auto number. Auto increment means you automatically increment 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And the primary key, you can see here, the primary key is right now, because it's an auto number, that's considered as a primary key. And there are certain things we have index, unique index. It means name you cannot repeat again. This name you cannot repeat again. And primary key is ID, which is this one. Now, most of you know database, but if you do not know database, you just need to copy here. So example, keep this column as is. Make sense? Product name, right? And then product price. When you do product price, instead of int, you're going to do here numeric, right? Numeric, and you can say just do 7, 2. 2 means after decimal, there are 2 digits. And 7 means after decimal, you have 5. So total you have 7. So total you have 7. 5 before, 2 after, so total 7. Very simple thing. In case if you have a problem, I would use, little bit WhatsApp, but you will create a table. Once you create table, we are going to insert. So this table name, we are using table name, and then column, whatever the column we have, we use all column. So if you have 4 column, you use 4 column. If you have 5 column, you put 5 column, and then we are adding values. So you can see here, we are adding values, means first we'll go to ID, second will go to second, third will go to third. So you're adding bunch of values. So here I'm adding 16 values. It means 16 records. What I'm adding? 16 records. And if I'm successful, I want to see select star. Star means all column from this table. And if I do that, I should be able to see all my record here, my database here, my table here, my column here, and I'll put my command, SQL command, structure, query, language command here. I will highlight it and I'll run through this play button. This is the run button. Make sense? So let's do together. Highlight from here to here. Let me show you. Start from here. Dash dash means comment. Dash dash means comment. Highlight this thing up to this. Highlight and do Control C. Control C means copy. Control C, copy. And go to your control center where you are connected and paste it. Control V. So you can see nicely, it's colorful. There won't be any mistake. I just put a comment here. Dash dash means comment. Dash dash means comment. It just give you idea. You don't have to do anything, just run it. Just run it. And you should have record, table, and database. So you can see nicely it ran. Give me thumbs up if you're able to run it. Whatever you did right now, in a real life, this is called seed script, database seed script, database seed. Please pay attention. This is called DB seed script, seed. Most people will say, do you know how to create the seed script? This is the seed script. As a QA, this is very important for you. Why? Why it is important for you? Because V and V for verification you do from UI side and validation from database side. So if you are the one who insert, so you know if I search book number 13, then I know I should get this. If I search book number 11, I should know. So this is called CAN data, or we call seed data, or we call init data. But as a QA, you must know this thing. Yes, Irina.
Open as a new query the screen, or what is this?
Sorry, could
When you put this code, you open file, new query, or what? Because when I open, I don't see this screen. I have to something open as a new query or as a new model or something like this.
Yeah, so first of all, you were in control center?
Yes, I open MySQL workbench, and then MySQL connection, and I have to open something, file, new query or new model or
new query. Could you do new query, please?
Query. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And see if you can paste it and run it.
Excuse me, Tom, can you please show me like what did you highlight it and what did you copy paste?
Sure. No
Because
problem.
I just have it working right now.
What was the issue?
It wasn't connected to the local, so I had to do the setup again. So now it's connected, the database.
Perfect. So if you are in my forum, you can see I'm highlighting. This is the create database, right? From these you select control, like I highlight up to this select statement. So you can just select up to this. So you can see highlight and Control C, right? Control C. But after you do Control C, you paste into your workbench and run it. This is where you run. So you click here and run. So this way you can see all records on the script. So this is your record you see, all your result, all records which you inserted, you see here, right? So anytime you have problem, right, you can always create a new query tab like this from file menu, new query tab, and you can open the tab and you can run it. Now, if you notice that in this window, there is a tab called schema. Click on the schema tab. Click on schema tab. And when you click on schema tab, you will see your database is not visible yet. So you have to click on refresh button. And then your database will be visible. Always see on the screen. It's not that hard it sounds. Just see the screen, click on schema, and then you click on refresh button. When you do so, you will see all your table, school table, and you will see columns, and you can see everything. First, we are going to command prompt. So everyone should go to command prompt. So go to command prompt. So you just do CMD. At this moment, I hope everyone knows, because we did quite a lot CMD, right? So go to CMD and press enter. So when you do CMD and press enter, you get a command prompt, and command prompt, you will be in a different directory like this. So I open my CMD and my CMD. Yeah. And you can see my CMD is here. I'm totally, please see on the screen, because most time you will see that you are in a different folder, user folder. I want you to write CD C:// press enter. Make sure you see on the screen. Type CD C:/ and slash. It means you go to C drive. Please follow the properly. So let me repeat: CD space C:/ and / like that. So if you press enter, you will be like this. You are in C drive. So one more time, you cannot make mistake here, because otherwise your program folder structure will be different than mine. So we are here and we press enter. So when we press enter, we are now in C drive. This is kind of blank copy. We are in C drive. Do you see that? We are in a blank C drive. Good so far? Always use a forum, because it will give you idea where we are and what we are trying to do. People on phone, so far, are you guys with me so far?
Yes.
My folder structure is a little different, but I'm still following along.
Yeah. Mac people need to do their own. Now, please understand, we are going to copy this command. This command will create a directory. Please pay attention. Make directory. This command will create a directory, and then CD space, it will go inside the directory. So you're going to copy this whole command. It does two things together. It creates directory and it takes you inside the directory. So this line, only this line, you paste it. So you can see that literally it's going to create this directory and it will go inside the directory, because you are doing CD here. So press enter and you will notice that you and me will be on same directory now. Make sense? So this command create a directory and this command takes you to the directory. Good so far? See guys, you're following wonderful. So don't go too fast and don't go too slow, because these are structures. So now I'm in a directory, your directory and my directory is same. So now we can download our program and we do the magic. But before we do that, Node is a framework. Node is a framework. So we're going to say initialize the framework. So here, the command for initialize. See here the command. npm space init space -y. So you can highlight that.
You know, Tom, I'm so sorry, it's me again. I did exactly what you told us, and I have an error said the programming language API is recognized as an internal or external command.
It means you didn't do exactly what I asked you to do.
I copy paste.
No. The reason hint entire command you did not copy. Please copy again one more time. This is entire command. You'll be surprised it will work.
Okay, I will do that again.
Because I tested, and here I have in front of me student also. Remember, exact thing will get you exact result. Inexact thing get you different result.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna do it again. Thank you.
Let's do it quickly.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this is the command. Make directory will create a directory, and then CD will take you to the directory. And you all will be here, because if you write command exactly, you get result exactly, right? This is the command, right? So I'm here. So now in this screen, make sure you copy these command. Always see on the screen. Don't even think to type because you make mistake in typing. npm init space -y. So if I go here and I paste that command, do you see that? I don't type. So the first command created directory and I am inside the directory. This is my validation. I should be inside the directory. And then you do npm space init -y. If you do that, you will see package.json. And you will see something like, oops, npm is not installed here. We have not installed npm last week.
Yes, we did. It worked for me.
Huh? No, you guys studied Node, right? No?
Yeah, last class.
Worked for me today.
It should work. Oh yeah, because he used his own laptop. Oh, I'll download it. Just give it, because you guys are using your laptop. He used his own laptop, right? I'll download Node.js. Give me a second. See, this is another challenge, right? 2 minutes. It won't take more time. So, because I say, wow, it is not working. So I'm installing Node because you guys already installed last week. I did not miss, my laptop did not have, so that's why it's not there. But you will see package.json when you run the command. Try not to type anything unless you have to type, because certain things unnecessarily take time. And when you copy paste, you need to be very careful about command. If you take half command, it won't work, because when it says it's not working, immediately check. You copy completely, because if something is error, we all will see error, right? If one person is able to run, means something different in our copy paste. So my node is installed. Now let me see if I think it may not work because I need to close the window, right? Let me do one thing. I'll go back. I have to open window again one more time, and I'll go to CD, C drive, CD programming, right? What is the file? Yeah, this one. And here we'll say npm, right? Init -y. And you saw package.json. Agree? So people on phone, if you are here, you are doing awesome job. And I'm hoping all of you should have here. Hind, are you able to run it or no?
No, you know what? When I did it again, it said it already exists. I think with my laptop, I have, like, whenever I install something, I have to start. Because when I did it again, it said it already exists. But
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
then
It
you do
doesn't look like
simple
yours.
thing. You do this way. Try one more time. Go start another command window. It's like those who know Java, you have palm.xml. Exactly same thing. So those who know Java, right? In the Maven, palm.xml, same thing. So here you have who is the person writing test, and this is the index. This is the main thing, index.js. So now index.js we need to create, so we can slowly work on it. So if you scroll down, we are here and we are saying now we want to install Express. You most likely install, so you don't have to worry about it, but I'm installing first time. So highlight this command, npm space iexpress, and you paste it here. You already have it because you ran last week, right? So you won't have a problem. I might need to install. So I did npm iexpress. Don't type, just paste it. I stands for install, and express means web framework we are installing. So npm space iexpress. So you are installing Express framework. It takes hardly a minute and it's done. You most likely have installed because you already have done this activity, right? So far so good? Okay. Now we are going to, please understand, first thing we are going to do is we are going to create index.js. See here on screen, please. We are going to create index.js. So what I normally do, I do notepad space index.js. So it will open this, it will open the notepad, and I'm going to paste the code. Code is here. Please see on the screen, please. We are going to write notepad space index.js. We're going to say notepad, we'll say notepad index.js, it will open the notepad, and the entire code which we have here, we're going to paste it here. Right? Let's do together. So first, one at a time. The only thing you need to do is notepad. So first type notepad space index.js. Now index.js is the main file which we saw in a package.json. So notepad open index.js, so it will open the white editor. Yes or no? And when it open the editor, in that editor, just say yes. So you're opening a file. Now in this one, any problem? In this one, see here, I'm trying to show you the screen also, so you can easily understand. This is exactly what I'm doing. Notepad index.js. This code I need to paste it here. And good news, the code is in the forum. So we're gonna copy this code here, and I'm gonna explain one by line by line. So I'm gonna paste this code like that. That's in our forum. You don't have to type, just copy paste this thing here, right? So far so good. Now what we are trying to do, we are trying to see everything is working or not. So let's understand what we are trying to do here. So first line, we are saying that for this program, I need Express framework. That line say required. I need Express framework. And then just like in Java, you create instance, you create an instance, and that's your app. Now you are saying that this app will listen to port 300. So now it will listen to localhost ::300. If you don't like 300, if you want to do 500, you can do that. But right now we'll keep 300. Now we are saying app use express.json. These are boilerplate code. You don't have to change anything. Now you say if somebody requests that this URL, then just say OK. Return OK. So you can see here we are returning. See here, if anybody call this thing, then we will respond JSON message OK. I'll show you how it works. So right now, save that file, the file which you did, save it. So file, save it. So when you save it, file is saved. So if you go to a command prompt, if I do dir, you will see index.js. Say yes. You see index.js? Yes or no? Now let's run it. So we'll say node, let's say node index.js. So we are running now server. It will ask you, do you want to allow this server? You say yes. You need to allow that because it is waiting for you to start that server, because as soon as you access port, Fire will say, do you want to allow? Just say yes. Allow access. And now your server is running. It is running on port 300. So now, good news, your server is running. Makes sense? Sorry? It did not install that. And remember, I was installing npm iexpress. So now I can go to browser, and in browser, any browser, Google Chrome or IE, doesn't matter, and I paste localhost, type localhost :300, and you will see message OK. Why am I doing this? Because it is the one it is listening to. So whatever I see here, I'm able to see this. It means my first service is listening. Any questions? So to our forum, now we have to do a lot of activity. But this activity I cannot explain you to do one by one. So what we are doing, we're going to do a little bit shortcut. The reason there are so many files to do, let me explain here. So many things, you can see so many things. So we as a human will make a lot of mistakes if we do this, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you and then explain it, because that way you can see there are so many files we need to do. So right now what I have done is I have done simple activity in a forum, but I'm going to also explain when we do the work, because there can be n numbers of ways you can make mistake, right? To solve that problem, first let's do simple way, then we'll understand and we'll make the changes. So first of all, can you count? Can everyone come here where we have complete code? Scroll down and you will see complete code. Now, here, this code is there. We're going to download the zip file. So you can click here, make sure you see on the screen, and you click here, it will download the zip file. So when you download the zip file, it will go to download folder. So click here and it will give you option to download the zip file. So if you click here, you will have options like this arrow allows you to download the zip file. This arrow will allow you to download zip file. It will take hardly a minute to download the zip file. So it downloaded. Any questions so far? Downloading zip file. So far so good? Everyone is good? Okay. Now, please go to download folder and unzip that. So you need to unzip. So go to download folder. There's a zip file. Right click and unzip. Right click and unzip. So right click and unzip, which is extract all. So right click, see on the screen, right click, extract all. Right click and extract all. So when you right click and extract all, what happens? It creates a folder structures for you. Like that. Right click and extract all, it will create a folder structures for you. So far so good? Everyone is good? Now double click on that and you will see this thing. Good? Okay. If you are here, just wait. I will explain the concept. If you are here, then you are doing fantastic job. Okay. Can I count people on phone so far here?
Yes.
Awesome. Now I want to explain the concept. Please understand, we are not writing a single line of code, but we need to understand the structure because we are using a pattern called MVC. So in a real life, what normally people do, they don't put all code in one directory. They don't put all code in one directory. They create a group, like this, and based on the group, they create a program inside the folder. So I created one group for route, one group for services, and then a helper class are here. Okay, so first config, helper, index, these are outside, and services are. So one by one, I'm going to explain. It is not complex. It is just a proper way structuring. You already have done index.js. You already created index.js. So you can right click here. Please do so. Right click here and open with Notepad. So right click on index.js, open with Notepad, and you will be seeing that same thing we did just a few minutes back. So it's not a different thing. It's the same thing, which is like that. It will say open with Notepad. So just say open. Do you agree? It's the same thing we did. So don't worry about that part. Now, I just want to make sure you understand up to this, we understood. Up to this, we were giving message okay. But then beneath this, there is something we have done additional thing, which I want you to understand. Please pay attention. What we are saying here, Express, we are creating Express as an application. So we are saying application use, if somebody write this line, this thing, initially we were looking this thing, but if somebody write this thing, this is called context. So like example, if I write slash and if I write Eric here, then context is Eric. If I write slash here and let's say shopping cart, then context is shopping cart. If I write here and say warranty, then context is warranty. So here we are saying slash programming language, that's the context. This is your API name. So like example, if you're doing math, then it should be math. If you're doing patient, then it should be patient. If you're doing hospital, then it should be hospital. So this is a context, right? Every API will have context. So like example, in Google, you're doing map, then it will be map, MAP map. If you're doing search, it will be search. So now you're saying, if somebody write this, you will call router. You will call router. And then from router, whatever happens in router like this, check it out. So you are saying you are going to use if somebody use this, you are going to use router. And if somebody enters something wrong, then you are going to give error message like this, right? And rest of the things is same. There is nothing special here. So what we only did here, this is the only line is important. Rest of the line is same. There is nothing special. So what we are saying, if somebody write program language, then you better go to router. So right now, let's copy this part only. Control C, copy this part, only this with the slash I'm copying. See on the screen, slash. And if I go to my, go to my browser where I had 300, and if I paste that, I will not get anything, I'll get error like this. Do you guys agree? Why am I getting error right now? Because I do not have a router. I do not have a router in my program right now. So my program say I cannot find this thing because we don't have it. So if I put router, my folder will understand that, because right now I don't have a router. Now the question is, where is router and how it works? I'm gonna go forward. So first of it, so please understand that one line is a miracle, because that line says that if anyone writes context this one, it should go to this router. So now let's go back to the folder, and in that folder structure, there is a folder called router. So double click on router folder, routes folder, double click on it. And you will see the name, exact name, which we are referring. Make sense? Now right click and open with Notepad. So you will open with Notepad and you see this code. Okay. Routes. In a route folder, you have name called programming language, which is the router in route folder. Let me repeat one more time. See here, house, you don't do much. You just add door and window. So this is the framework. So first line says that I need express. Require means I need it, right? And I need a router. These two lines are routing. Now you're saying that router will need services. Please pay attention. So what we are saying that this router which I'm using, router is going to depend on service. So this line says service. Make sense? So there is a folder called service, and this is the file of the service it will need. Now what it says, please understand, it's pretty simple. It says that if somebody writes slash, then I will use this service and call this method from this service. If somebody say post, I will use this service and I will call create method from this service. Makes sense? So basically what happened, each endpoint get, there is an associate method in a service. Post, there is an associate method in a service. So service has all methods, update and delete. Make sense? So let's understand again. Router doesn't do anything. Router say that if you send me get, I will call service and I'll ask service to create method. If you say post, sorry, my mistake, post, it will do create. But if you say put, then I'll send to service and say update. If you say delete, then I'll call service and say remove. So technically this router is a delegator, doesn't do anything. Maximum logic is where service code. Make sense or not? Now, how do I read that? So if you read that carefully, this is the main file, service. So service is the folder and this is the main file. And what we are saying, this name, you can see this name is exactly same as this name. So this name is same, and this will be a method inside this program. This will be a method inside the program. So there will be a 4 method. Do you agree? First method will be get, second method will be create, third method will be update, and fourth method will be remove. Yes or no? So let's go to folder structure and services. Let's come out one step. So go up a little bit like this way. So you can see service folder like this. Please come out a little bit so you can see the service folder. Now go inside the services. So double click on services. So you will see the same file. Yes or no? Now open this thing in a notepad. So right click, open with notepad. So you can see now, you will see all 4 methods, just like that. See, first get multiple, which is nothing but read, create, nothing but create, update, nothing but update, and remove. So router was calling this method. And at the end, these lines is important. So what happened in Node, any method you are writing here, if you want to make that available, you just need to do export. So right now, this service class is exporting 4 methods. So right now, check it out. Remove, this is the remove method, right? Then update, so there is an update method. So all methods it's exporting. When it export, router can use it. If you don't export, let's say example, I remove it, then router will not be able to call it. Make sense? Now, let's understand what service guy does. So service guy say that I need three things: DB, helper, and config. Requirements I need it. So this guy will know how to connect to the database. This guy know how to get the page, and these guys know how to run the query. So let's see what is going on. So first, let's go to DB, which is in dot means current directory, and dot means parent directory. Dot means current directory, dot means parent directory. So let's go to current directory, and there should be a file called DB. Do you see the DB file? Say yes or no. Yes. Now open that file, right click, open with Notepad, and you can see it has a database information. So you can see here, it has a database information. Now this one says that I need to connect to the database, and in that I need to install this package. So we need to install this package. If I don't install this package, Node.js cannot talk to MySQL. So we'll get an error in 2 minutes. You will see that we'll get an error. No problem. Now we are saying we will run a query. If you give me SQL and parameter, I will execute this query. So whatever query you give me, I will execute it, and I'll give you result. And I'm exporting this method. The method name is query. So that's all it does. What it says, I know how to connect to the database, which is the MySQL. I'll connect using configuration. But configuration in dot. So it is in a previous directory. So current dot means current directory, and dot means you have to go to 1 step above. Make sense? So this is the boilerplate code. You don't change at all. So like example, when you do exercise or homework, you do not change this file. Why? Because do you see that there is no specific line here? This is called boilerplate code. If I do 50 projects, all 50 projects, I will have this file as is. There is no change at all. Make sense or no? So let's go to 1 step above and look for the config, what config has. So if I go to config, right click and open the config file, open with, you will see their database parameters. Say yes or no. Did you guys find the config? Now you can see that here we have host name. So if I want to use cloud database, then I just need a host name of the cloud. Username for that, password for that, database for that, and this is a timeout. That's it. So if you are changing database, then only thing this will change. Otherwise, this file will remain same. Because you all are using local database, you don't have to change. So when you do homework, you only need to change this thing. Why? If you are creating a new database. If you are creating a new database, then you need to change to product database. Make sense or not? If you are, let's say, doing a hospital, then you need to do hospital here. Make sense or not? Otherwise, it will not know where your tables are. So that part is good. Now, the last but not least is the where is the query execution happen? Query execution happen here at helper level. So right click on helper, go to open with Notepad. And this is the only place where you write a query. So you are saying here, you are saying helper, you are saying that first page will be, current page will be 1. So we are trying to do pagination. So we are saying first page is the 1, and the maximum how many rows we will give per line. So we can say how many lines list per page is, how many lines you want per page. I'll give you per page. But let's say if per page has 20 and result is 30, then 10 will be on a second page. So this is again boilerplate code. You don't change at all. This one you don't change. Why? Because it has nothing to do with your project. See here, there's nothing. It is only for pagination. If you don't do this, then what will happen? It will bring all your result in one page, which is not right. So to solve that problem, we are doing page by page pagination. So it says starting with one page and how many lines you want. I'm going to show you that. So here, first it will be empty, and then I'll show you the written lines, whatever lines you are asking. But let's say you are asking 20, but I have, let's say 60 lines, then I'll create 3 pages for you. Starting with current page. So next time you ask me second page, next time you ask me third page. If you are able to do, awesome. Any question? At this moment, we have everything. Now, please see here, I'm going to walk you through one by one so you can understand. Please don't do anything, just see on, relax and see here. What we are trying to do here is here. I'm trying to map the picture, architecture picture, which we have in our forum. You don't do anything, just see here. So this way you will understand what we are trying to do. This is kind of a project, it's such, right? It's a small project. But the reason I want to give you this type of hands-on activity, so you can feel confident that, hey, not only I did a hello world exercise, I did a end-to-end. So now I'm going to do map the assets mapping. See here, your code, my code, everything will match properly. So now this is my C drive and this is my assets. So under C drive, I have these assets. So now let's see one by one, I'm mapping. First is index.js. Do I have it? Yes. Then router, that is in the router package. The services, which is in services package. The DB, which is under route, I think services package DB. Config is here. Helper is here. That's pretty much it. This one is not Node.js, it automatically does. So we don't have to. So we have everything ready to go. At this moment, go back to command prompt, wherever you were. If you have service up running, do Control C first, Control C. So you can cut it. Control C through, you can stop your service if it is running. Control C means cut it if the service is running. And now start one more time service. In order to start service, node index.js. And now service will run. Oops, error happened. Error happens. You also will have same error. Node index.js. Can anybody tell me why I have error? I did give you hint. So what should we do? We need to install this module. We need to install module. Remember we said 2 module, one is Express and one is MySQL. So Node.js know how to talk to MySQL. Right now Node.js has no idea how to talk to MySQL. Very simple. We can install it. Installing is pretty simple. So what's the command? npm, right? npm install MySQL 12, I believe. That's what they say, right? MySQL 12. Let's press enter. See if that is the right one. Seems like it is not the right one. Let's do MySQL D, I think, or MySQL. Oh, sorry, spelling was wrong. My spelling was wrong. MySQL. Let's see if that is installed. Yeah, seems like that is correct. npm install space MySQL. npm install space MySQL. npm, right? Install MySQL. MySQL. Makes sense or no? npm install MySQL. How do I know? Because I got an error. Through error, I knew that I need to.
But in the error it says MySQL 2.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll see. What numbers we'll install one more time. because when I install MySQL, what happened? Now use up arrow, and you will have a previous command. Remember the node index.js. See if that works. If it doesn't work,
I did both. It
Yeah.
worked.
yeah. So node space index.js, right? Normally do up arrow, and see, bring the previous command. So in our case, node index.js and press enter. And now server is running. Congratulations. Now we are good to go. Now magic starts. The most important part, go back to your local host and press enter browser, and you will see all the data. Congratulations. You see all data. Did you guys see? Give me thumbs up. Now this is coming this is coming from database, and you can see that page 1. Now you say, how did it came? All those things, how did it came? So let me explain. First, index.js, I'm going to explain, okay, step by step. You don't do anything, just see here. First, index.js will route to service, and service will run to database and get the command. So because I'm doing this, which operation I'm calling? Get operation. So see here, step by step, I'm going to do it so you can understand. I'm in my main folder. So first I'll go to index. You don't do anything, just see here. So from there, I open, so index, and I'll say open with, and I open that thing. So when I open, there is nothing here. Do you guys agree? The only thing, this line. So it is straightforward going to router. So here, whenever it is, go to programming language router. And programming language router path is here. Do you guys agree? It crystal clear tells us where it is. So which folder I should go to? Route programming language. Perfect. So now I go to route and programming language. If I open with, right? The reason I'm using Notepad, so you can easily understand the concept. If I use some editor, you will not learn this thing. So troubleshooting would be a nightmare for you. If you do this way, no matter what ID you use, you will be able to figure it out. So first of all, we are using service, yes or no? And then in service, first thing we are saying get multiple. And when you say that, it is going here and calling get multiple. So service is get multiple. So first of all, I am in this what you call router. In a router, I need service, and in service, I need multiple method. Okay, good enough. So now let's go to services. So if I go to services, there should be a get multiple, and in get multiple, I should have a query related thing. So here I go to here, and that's when I'm doing get multiple, which is here, page number 1. I'm running query select star from. Oh wow, I like it. I like it. So if I do homework, I need to change this query. You guys agree or not? Say yes or no. Say yes or no. Like example, today your table name is program language, but if I ask you product, you need to change it. Yes or no? And now you say, but I don't understand yet. No problem. I'll show you quickly. So when you run this program, you got this thing, ID, name, JavaScript, release, this, all you get it because you are passing here those things. So if you carefully see here, first is ID, second is name, third is release year, right? ID, name, release year. So if I go to browser, you will see first is the ID, second is the name, third is the release year. Do you agree or not? If I want to change the order, I can. Where should I change? In services. So if I go to services, I can easily change. Do you guys agree or not? I can change this order. So like example, let's say I want to remove name just for my sake. I'm doing it. You don't do anything. Let's say I remove the name. Okay. I save it. You don't do anything. I save it. So when I save it right now, let's see what happened. So I just remove the name. Okay. Don't do anything. And now if I refresh it, so what happened here? Right now I'm refreshing, still it has because it's not restarted. So let me restart for a second. Control. Are we understanding or not? You all know a little bit database. So if I bring it back, Control Z, right? And if I save this thing, and if I bounce it, Control C, and I restart again, and service is running. Now if I refresh, you got it. Agree? So if you have to change, very simple for homework, if you have to change table name, query name, you know where to change. Do you guys agree? This is a get. This is the insert for create. This is the update, and this is the delete. Do you need to ask anyone, or it's easy? The only thing you need to remember is the table name and column name. But magic is in the service code. Do you guys agree? Now, this service is depend on three helper, right? DB, helper, and config. Config, we saw that it's a database informations, DB, and we saw helper. Helper run, these are boilerplate. Most of the things are boilerplate, but only one place where we have a database name, which we need to change. So now, let's say I want to understand post. I want to do post. So why don't you start your postman so we can do this exercise. Start your postman. Start postman. After you do this exercise, I can give you 90% chances that you won't have any problem for any more web services type of activity, because most people are using MVC. Doesn't matter which language they use, the concept remains same. MVC is the pattern. So you can easily work on any MVC type of projects. So there are many companies are using MVC, and in interview or job descriptions, you will see like knowledge of MVC required. Angular and React both use MVC, so it's very popular. Okay, I'm hoping your postman and my postman might have a little bit different, but don't worry about it. It's just a similar concept. So first thing, what we are going to do in postman, let's try to understand the concept. Please see on the screen, Boyana. Make sure you pay attention, okay? So first thing first, we are going to create a collection. I'm going to take a little bit extra, okay? So this is something you might not have studied. So first I'm going to do collection. In collections, we're going to create a request. So each will create a request, get request, post request, put request, and delete request. Remember, each request is going to talk to my database. Do you agree or not? I have real. So this time it's not a dummy, it's a real database. It's kind of nice thing. And then once we do that exercise, then we'll write a test cases. Just like you're writing test ng, we are going to write test. And the testing I'm going to show you, that is the postman testing, which is very powerful, which will require 2 effort. So today we'll do some, next week I'll do much more. So we're going to do postman, and then we'll automate also. We do a little bit load run also, if possible. Okay, so please follow. These are simple. You might have done last week some of the postman activity. We are going to do the similar but completely new structure. So here on your collection, whenever you see collection, click on it. Collection is nothing but folder. Click on it. Don't miss me, okay? When I explain, make sure you pay attention, because this type of thing you will not see often. Trust me. I'm telling you as a request. Understanding is much more than doing. If you don't understand, we have bigger problems. So make sure you pay attention, because once you understand, you can easily figure it out. So click on collections. So when you click on collection, there is a plus sign. So let's click on that. So you will create a new collections. So here you go. And do you see here blank collection, right? So let's click on blank collection.
You know, Tom, I'm so sorry. My collection, when I click on it, everything is locked. There's like a lock. Yeah, I have like Notepad, Graphy, Notes. Then there is locks.
Yeah. So you might not have logged in. That's I think sometimes you might need to log in. Check this, because depends on what you downloaded, because there are 2. One is called free version and one is called pro version. So pro version was only available for, I think, 14 days. So if you pass 14 days, it might have read only. I use a community version, which is a free.
Okay.
I use community version, it's a free. You might have downloaded a pro version, which has 14 days free license.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now, I'm going to click on a plus, which is going to create a new folder structure and blank collection. So it is a folder. Basically, it's a folder. Do you see the new collections? So we can rename that by, there is a 3 dots are there. These are magical. 3 dots are magical. You can do all operation through that 3 dots. So let's rename that. So you should have rename. Do you guys see that? 3 dots are magic. Remember that 3 dots are magic. Everything you can do through the 3 dots. So now you're going to rename that. So go to here and rename. So when you rename, I'm going to rename right now what we are trying to do. Let's say we are doing programming books, right? So we'll say programming. Just give any name, programming language. That's my collection name. In your real life, you give a collection name for the service. So like example, if your map service, then your map is a collection and you create all requests for map. Now, if you do search, you give another collection. So each service you will have a collection. So right now your programming is a collection. Good so far? Remember 3 dots magical rename. Now we're going to click on add request. Click on add request. See, I'm not doing anything special, so don't be very creative. Try to just do simplest thing. We're going to click on add request. That will create a one small kind of concept in the collection. So we are going to create 4 requests. We want to create 4 requests. So let's click on add request. So when you click on add request, it will give you this option. Make sense? Now, first thing we need to do is change the name. Please see on the screen. When you click on, you got a new request. So here is the name. So let's write down get language, programming language, or whatever name you want. So I double click here and I'll say get programming language. Name doesn't matter, spelling doesn't matter. Just type something in English which is readable. So you just click here. You don't have to write exact name, doesn't matter. Spelling incorrect, name incorrect, doesn't matter. Just give something meaningful which people can understand. So get programming language. Good so far? People on phone, I'm hoping you guys are doing proper so far.
Yes.
Should we be naming these without spaces?
No, yeah, no space, please. No space. Okay. Get programming language, and don't try to, check the spelling and all. Doesn't matter. You can always change this, but make something, that get programming language. Now, go back to your browser where your URL, like this URL, right? This URL where your host, and this is the context. So copy this, Control C, copy this thing, and here in your get, you have URL, paste here. So please understand, this is your name, and here you have put this is called endpoint. This is your endpoint. So here you put endpoint, and now click on send and see if you get JSON there. And you should see the JSON. Say yes. Perfect. Congratulations. And now click on save. So this part is saved. So first endpoint is working. Click on save. So that will save this thing. Make sure you save it. Okay. So this part is working. Clear? Request here. So this is your collections. Collection has 3 dots, and through that you can go to add request. Let's click on add request. Right? So we're going to do add request, and here I'm going to say we'll right click on again. We can right click on this 3 dots, and we'll rename that. First, we need to rename that, or you can double click and rename, whichever works for you. So you can just double click here and rename. So here we'll say add programming language.
What?
Let me repeat. So first I did a add request. When I did add request, I got new item, and I just double click here and I add programming language. Makes sense. Now the URL which you had will the same URL. So we will paste here. URL will be same, but here we'll do post. So far, so good. Here we are doing post. Please understand, post means what? We are going to give a JSON. So we can add a new programming book. Yes or no? Please don't lose me here. I have changed name add. I have selected post. Always see on the screen. But how do I add JSON? So for that, you need to click on body. Click on body first. Click on body. Click on row. Right? Click on row. And then click on JSON, which is already we have JSON here. So we don't have to change here. But now, please understand, we did a body, we did a row, JSON, but we need to know how to provide key value for a book. Yes or no? So I have, if you go to forum, I have one example. If you scroll down on a forum, there is an example I have. If you scroll down, keep going. I have done a small JSON example for you. So that way we can save some time. Here you go. Just next to this postman, you see this JSON? Say yes.
Yeah.
You guys see that? Yeah. So copy this JSON. Control C, copy this JSON. Copy this JSON. And we're going to paste this JSON here like that. Right? So you can see here we have name, release year, rank, and this informations we have, right? So we are going to add, but how do we know it is being added? So if you remember last time when I did a get here, if I do browser, if I do get here, remember the last was this one 9, right? You can see the last one 33 people rank 7, and this is the information you have, right? So this is like you have and ID is 10. Do you guys agree or not? If I add, it should be 11. So that is the way I will know. So right now looks like good to go. Let's send it. So when you send, I should get a success. And congratulations, programming language successfully inserted. Make sense? So if it is inserted, save it. Click on save button. Click on save button. So one request is saved. Once we save it, go to your browser and refresh it. It should get 11. If you get 11, then we are doing good. So we didn't get yet. Did you guys get it? Which book I added? It's a 10. Let me see, what did I added? I added 13 git run 13. Let me click on get and see refresh here if I can. Yeah. So here, do you guys see 13 somewhere? Rank. It's not in error, right? There is no error, so it should be inserted. So we just inserted, that's for sure. We inserted, so where did it go? First of all, do you see 13 here anywhere? No, so it seems like it's not pulling the new record yet. Let me do get again one more time. So it seems like a caching then, if it is not bringing here. I don't see 13. Do you? No. Let me try one more time. Insert. Now it's a duplicate entry. So it does know, right? So it means it's there. Its service is not refreshing, which is okay. Nothing wrong in that. But it is duplicate entry. So it's there. It means it understands that. So it means working fine. No problem. Let's create a new request in a collection. So click here and add a new request. This time we're going to say update, right? So we'll add request, 3 dots, add request. And now double click here and say update programming language. Spelling doesn't matter, just type something which gives idea that you are trying to update. Now here you do put. Here you do put. The URL will be the same URL. So I'm going to copy paste the URL. The same URL. And because it's a put, same as a post, just make sure you put body, row, and we'll use the same JSON from our forum. We'll change a little bit. So we'll do Control C, same JSON. And here I'm going to change a little bit. So example dot one, just an example, dot one, and here 2011 to let's say 2021, and rank let's say 14, and rank 21, and this is 26. So I just change it, right? If everything goes right, I made changes everywhere, like little bit changes, doesn't matter right or wrong, I just change it. So what will happen? It will it find this way? Technically speaking, it will not find unless I have to provide what particular item I'm trying to update. Yes or no? Because if I don't provide row, where it will update, right? So if I do this thing, let's see what will happen, right? I'm trying to do put where it is going to update. So if I do send, see here, if I do send, it says that error, right? So what is the error? Cannot put. Why? Because it doesn't know where to put, which one to update. You guys agree or not? So in that case, I need to see my service and my router. What type of thing I need to provide? So I need everyone attention. I can put anything here, doesn't mean anything. The problem here is the put. If I give this here, it should look for some ID. Put means update. Yes or no? So I need to have particular item which I want to update. So let's see for a second. You don't do, just see here on the screen. I'm going to show you the programming. So here I'm going to update. So update, it needs ID. Okay, but how does it get ID? Let's go for one step above, and this is the router. So I go to router, and router say, ID is here. Oh, I didn't provide ID. So now I got it. So if I put it here, question /1, if I say /1, what will happen? It will update to first one. Now send it, and ta-da! Easy. So what did we do? We changed the first book. If I do 2, then I will change the second book. Make sense? So this way you can figure it out. Good news, we have code. Code gives you hint also. So we are done with update. We'll save this thing. Save it. What happened?
My Siri replied
Okay.
that you said save it.
Okay. Now create one more request for delete. So click here, add request, and we'll double click and say delete programming language. Now, of course, you got the idea. Delete supposed to be ID just like update. So I'm going to put this thing. I went to update and copy this URL because I know that delete also needed this thing, right? So I put it here. Remember, just like I put 1 and I need to put here delete. So just like that. Now, please understand, if I put here 11 or 200 or 30, it won't work because there is no item to delete. But 1 is there, it should delete it, right? Technically speaking. So if I click here and if I send, it should say successfully delete. Do you agree? So, ta-da! Do you agree? And now save it. So we create a collection right now. Any questions so far? People on phone, so far, any questions? Now the magic begins. Magic is, in real life, you are running all one by one, like you might be running all one by one like that. But right now, if you run here, it's called piecemeal. And if you run all together, it's called collection. Make sense? So you go to here, upper on 3 dots, and you can run collections. So you can click here and you can say run collection. Yes or no? So click on run collection and see what happens. So when you run collection, please click on. So when you say run collections, it gives you options. How many times you want to run? Iteration 1, delay. Do you want to give some time? So when you run, do you want to give time? Do you want to do data driven? Data driven I'll cover next week. either me or Navid. Here, we just don't want to do anything, but next week I'll cover data collection. Now let's click on run programming language. And when you run, see what happens. So you're running all your things. You're running this thing, and you can see there's no test found. There's no test found. Did you notice that? Because we have not written any test cases right now. And you can see the runner pass fail is not there. So now our goal is to make test cases here, right? So how do we make test cases? It's pretty simple. You may like it. So click here in your collections, and we'll do one by one test cases. So let me do my Zoom. Second, my Zoom. You all need to be on my forum, okay? Without forum, you can't do this exercise because this requires some special Ruby script. Again, you don't have to know Ruby script, you just need to know how to use this concept. So we'll go to forum. Quickly, and in forum we have everything because I have done this for you, so we will take advantage for that. This is where when somebody said, do you know Postman? Actually, they are thinking about writing test case. What you know right now, it's manual. What we are trying to do, which will be automated. So it is a little bit Ruby script, but good news, it's very similar as a Python. So right now, I'll go back to, oops, not this one. I can go back to my web service overview. Scroll down. After our week 5, there is a thing called Postman script. I'll show you. You scroll down. After this, scroll down a little bit, and you will see something like this. If you scroll down, yes, like this. Let me know if you are able to see something like this. Scroll down a little bit, and you will see something like this. Scroll down. Okay. So basically, if you notice that, if I scroll down slowly, you will have here. Now, shouldn't be that difficult to find this, okay? It is after this thing. Now, let's try to understand here what we are trying to do. Hello, try to understand. It's in forum. So please, hello, everyone, because you are doing first time, it's important that you understand, right? So PM stands for Postman, test.test. You have to write this way. The parenthesis, and this is your test name. So whatever test name you want, you can write whatever you want. Then this is the functions, you write exactly like that. Then curly bracket start, curly bracket end, and semicolon. Here you write your test steps. So here I'm saying PM response. Response means JSON response. To have status 200. So what we are saying here, when I run my gets, if I double click here, when I run it here, please see on the screen. Why it is taking time? Come on. Yeah. So when I run my send here, I get 200 status code. Do you agree or not? It's a 500 right now. Why 500? Because my server.
You have to start the server.
Access denied, local host. Access denied, local host. Why access denied? Huh? Why access denied? It's working. Maybe service done or service didn't start. It says access denied. Huh. 1 second. Now this is another issue. Services. Oh boy. Why my services have access denied? Huh? MySQL didn't start. Oh, MySQL is not started. So I'll stop this one because it's old one and I'll start new one. That should solve the problem. Services. Okay. Now let's see. And yeah, perfect. Okay. Girish, make sure you see here. Then if you have a question, please ask, but make sure you see here, okay? Right now, I have get command. When we did a get command, you see status here. So I want to check that, am I getting status 200? If yes, then test pass. So how do I do that? So everyone need to understand postman steps. Please understand how to read this thing. Very limited material available in the Google. The only material available is postman. That's it. Very limited people know about it because postman is the only one who provides this material. So from that material, I extracted that. So PM stands for postman. That's the object. I want to test. This is my test name. So I can say status, test, get, programming book, whatever I want, I can write. Function is functions. PM, same. Response, same. To, same. Or same. So why don't you copy this? Copy this. Control C. Go back to postman. And we are in a get. Remember, we are in a get. Now in get, if you carefully see on a get, there is a test tab is there. Test. Do you see that? Make sure you see on the screen test. So click on the test. So when you click on test, you paste that content here. So now what you are saying here, when I run this thing, it should come here, test, and you can see it's already green color. So it automatically detect that it is fine. But just for learning purpose, if I do 300, so it should give me red color, right? Technically speaking, my test case will fail. So it is automatically detect. So 300, I put 300. Now let's change here. Get programming book. Let's write down. Get programming language status. Right? So you can write anything you write in double quotation. This is your test name. And you are saying 300. So I just want to make sure when I do this exercise, it should fail. Why? Because at least I know, otherwise I will not know it's working or not working. Make sense or no? Let me repeat one more time. I got this code from here. PM stands for postman, test means test. This is the state, whatever I want. And here I'm saying checking status. So let's go back here. Now, at this moment, if you are okay with that, I know I'm supposed to get 200. I put 300. Now click on send. And when you click on send, what happened right now? It gives me clue the test result. Now click on test result. So if you click on test result, say fail, which we are expecting. Yes or no? Now let's put it 200 just to make sure we know why, because we got 200 here. We got 200 here, so we're supposed to get 200 there. So let's put 200 here. So if I send it, now test is pass. Any question here? This is simple status, but we're gonna do more of them, okay? Everyone is okay with that? Are you getting? Sorry?
Okay.
Where are you able to copy that part? Okay, good. Good, very good. Always remember, when I'm explaining, if you pay attention, you will be easier to understand this. So right now, we just did one test case. Now we're going to do multiple test case. Again, I have done a lot of heavy work for you, trust me. So the part right now we do status, but actually test, we can do much more. So now let's go back to our forum. Make sure you're comfortable with the forum, because forum is the only way you will be able to do all this thing. Okay, if you type, you're going to go lost. So if you scroll down, you will see something like this. Give me thumbs up if you are able to see. Yes or no? A little bit scroll down. So now here, I am saying response must be validated and have a body. It means I'm saying status should be okay. Okay means it worked. It has a body. Body means it has a JSON. Remember, when I do get, it should not be empty. and it should be JSON. Make sense? Dinesh?
Yeah.
Right? So first we need to understand what we are doing. Let me explain again. What is this one? If you know how to read this thing, okay. Yes or no? What is this one? If you go to body, this is body has data. Yes or no? And what is this one? This is JSON. So we want to know that it is okay. It has a data and it is a JSON. So right now, this is a boilerplate test case. You can put anywhere for get. So copy this one, copy this thing. So I copy this one, go back to your test script. So this time in test script, I'm going to paste here. So it means 2 test cases. So this is a test case 1. This is test case 2. Make sense or not? Now I do send. So if I do send, and if you see test result, it says red color. So something wrong happened. See which test it failed. It said could not evaluate test script, syntax error, unexpected semicolon. It should be comma, maybe. It should be comma. Let me see. It is crying with crying with the. This is
Curly parentheses.
extra. I think it's extra, right? Seems like extra semicolon. Let me try one more time. Send.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, it worked. Some reason there's extra semicolon. Wow, how can I do that mistake? Extra curly bracket was there, so I removed that. But you can see now when I ran, I got 2 tests pass. See if you are able to do. If yes, give me thumbs up. Good. Good so far. Now for simplicity, I'm gonna do each service. I'll do 1 test so we can run the collection, because at least I want to make sure collection part is working fine. Okay. Good. If somebody say that, have you done API testing automated? So mostly people, what they do, they create collection, and this kind of way you can write test steps and you run collection. I'm going to show you that, and next week we're going to go detail, because when somebody say API testing, did you do API testing? So normally they do collection like that. They do this way. Whatever you do manually, send and all, that's not the way we do, because that is called 1 at a time. But in a real life, you will have 200. How many clicks you want to do? So you create a collection and you run collection at once. If anything fail, you will get an error and all. So like example, for time being, copy this first one, copy this first one, copy this first one, and we're going to paste one by one in every step. So we go to post now, go to double click on post now, post, double click on post, double click on post and go to test, double click on post and go to test and paste that, paste that. So please see on the screen, you don't need any help, always see on the screen, because make a habit how to do this, right? Double click here, go to test and paste that thing, and instead of get, make it post. Instead of get, make it post. That's all you need to do for time being. Post. Please understand, I double click here, I went to test, instead of get, I did post. Pretty easy, right? Now you save this thing, make sure you save this. Now again copy that, double click on put, double click on put, go to test, paste that, and instead of post, do put. Make sure you understand what I'm doing. So put in under test and save this thing. Always save it, because without saving, you cannot run collection. Double click on delete, go to post, so test, paste it and write delete and save it. So this way I have all. Now go to get one more time and save it. We didn't save that part, so let's save that get. Double click on get and save it. So basically I have done everything properly. I save each and everything. Save is button is there, save, right? Make sure each thing is saved. Now run the collections, you will see the result. So now go to collection, 3 dots are there. Go to collections, 3 dots are there. Now run the collections. Run collections. So go to 3 dots. Go to collections. Now when you run collections and say, ta-da! Look at that. It one failed. I was expecting one fail. Why it failed? Because number 1 I deleted, if you remember that. So it is not going to be, so that is a perfect. In that situation, I know it is going to be error. So I should say instead of 200, I should say 500. So that test pass. Yes or no? So let's go to put and we'll make 500 rather than 200. Make sense or no? Because we know that number 1 is deleted. So we'll go to which one is post? It failed in post, right? Okay, let's double click on post and we'll go to test and we'll put it to 500 rather than 200 because 500 means internal error. We know that. Why? Because we are trying to duplicate the same entry. That's why it's going to error out. So put 500, save it. Now right click and run collection one more time. So when you run collections, this time it should pass everything. If you are working on a API, your collections should be always running. Anytime somebody asks, hey, give me collections, they are expecting it has to be running. Make sense or no? You cannot share collections which is not running, because just like a test cases, right? When you build your 5 test cases, it should be running before you say build successful. So this is running. So like what happened, if somebody changed this thing, then immediately you change your test cases, but collections should be running. Make sense? Now let's make collection a little bit more interesting, because so far we just made it running. Any questions so far? If you are 200, you just click on like this way. You can also run automatically. You can see here, like run. You can run schedule. You can run CI/CD. So you can do automatically. So example, you can schedule at 2 o'clock run like that. If I say run again, it's smoothly, it will run. Check it out how fast it runs. Make sense or no? So you can also do a graphing like summary. So you can do summary here, how long it takes and all kind of thing. You see that step by step it generates the green. So if it is erroring out, average time it is taking, normal it is taking, you can see those things. So you can compare. They call A test, B test. A test, B test means like first time when I ran, how long it took. After change, after some changes, if I run, how long it took. If it is poor, then they have to go back and fix it. If it is better, it's good. So you always do A test, B test. Makes sense or no? So now I want to add a little bit extra test and then we'll talk about project. Just already 9:34. So let me, rest of the test I'll do next week, but let me just explain about the project, because I want to make sure you and your group start working on a project. You are most welcome to work with whomever you want as a project. If you already like someone and say, I want to work with him or her, I don't mind it. So whichever works, you want to work on a project. The project is all documented here. So let me just show you quickly, because I know we are running out of time.